Alright, folks. Welcome back to the Swain Batty League, where the players all suck and the shot calling doesn't matter. I am at a loss after those two games we just watched. This game, no matter how it ends, is down in Batty League history.
The series is down in Batty League history.
This is just insane. But these guys are competitors. No matter how awful forces of nature must be feeling right now, these guys are going to go down swinging. We're going to see what they change up in their draft here, what they change up in game. Because I don't even feel like their draft was the issue with the last game. It was just how they played. And we'll see if these guys go for something similar or if they try to completely shake things up after those two awful losses.
I feel like in both of these games, there were high points for forces of nature too. Like it wasn't like that they slowly lost or like anything. I think they held a goal lead like for like 60 minutes of that game.
Yeah, they had a goal lead from like, I think it was like the 20-minute mark till the end of the game. Oh man. Alright, we see the Aurelia ban as well. That's 3 bans at Strip. Taking a lot of target hate.
And a Thresh being hovered as a potential stolen pick.
I mean, Hivs has been comfortable. He's played that a lot throughout the season. We saw him play it in Game 1.
His Braum wasn't that great last game, but I assume that's what he's going to go back to. It's really hard to give up that Braum. That Braum is good in so many situations. Especially if it's something that I know 30... I mean, obviously, every support player can play Thresh to some degree. That used to be one of 30's really strong champs back when he first picked up the support role, but I don't think he's been playing it that much lately. And I'm just really worried it wouldn't be at the level of some of the stuff he has been playing, like his Braum and his Nautilus and his Leona.
Well, we see the Thresh lock in, and we're going to see Dubdrum steal the Wukong away from Dan. And the Sivir lock. Sivir is the contested pick, apparently, of this patch.
Yeah, this is just a league of contested picks. So, I don't even know if that Wukong has to be contested. It was god-awful last game, to be honest, out of Dan. But I really love that Sivir steal. That has, for so much of this season, been the pick that made Forces of Nature go.
I really hope they pick up this Tristana. I might be a little bit behind before they do.
No, that's fine. I'll save the locks as they happen. Yep, that's a Tristana and a Vi locked. So those are... I like that Tristana. That's a good pick on this patch. It changes things up. Lets Tree do some different things. He can push very effectively. And then obviously he's got the jumps and potentially resets in a fight.
It gives him a lot of range too. That auto attack range is very, very long.
And the way these team fights have been going late in these games, he hasn't needed to necessarily have the highest DPS. The long range and repositioning ability could end up being more valuable for him.
Yeah, no. Well, we've seen all these fights go very, very long, and a lot of times it's just debated by who survives longer. So by making sure that he's very safe, he has a lot of time to kite out and just continually put down damage.
So Sharkbait gonna lock in the Braum here, and they're hovering Shyvana, which they are going to take. And
that could be either top or jungle. We've seen both of them play it a lot.
Yeah, that is 2 flex picks that's going to make these top lane selection out of Forces of Nature very difficult.
If I were Forces of Nature, I would try and pick something that fights really strongly in melee range for top. There's actually a lot of counter picks that overlap between Wukong and Shyvana. Picks like...
one of them is Renekton, which is currently being hovered. I'm not going to get excited until that gets locked in, but I love... I love Croc. I love Croc so much. Renekton and Labur going back to his old best pick, Morgana. Morgana in the mid lane. I like these picks a lot. Labur used to draw so many bans playing that Morgana back in previous seasons, and he used to show just he was able to have so much impact in all phases of the game with her. And Renekton is very strong versus a lot of the big time meta top laners, and you all know how much I love Croc.
I really like
I'm excited
Morgana
to see this.
in this against Sharkbait's team comp because of how close that team comp has to fight to Morgana. You have a short range AD carry, you have 2 melees that like have to be in your face, diving the back line at all times. I really like it so far.
All right, and Vivaret with the last pick going to take Kassadin, which he's done work on at some points this season. So let's start with that mid lane matchup. I'm gonna have to assume that that's a relatively easy lane for Kassadin to get a lot of farm in. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
And that's more mid lane Morgana's weakness is that you can counterpick it with somebody that just scales better with the free farm.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, the nice thing about this comp is they have a lot of ways to keep Tree safe. Like, Morgana, if Morgana just stands by Tree, it makes it very, very safe.
Yeah, Tree is going to be in a very good position in this game. He should be able to get a lot of DPS off in these fights.
I really love
Oh
Tree.
my god! Wait a second. That's Micro mid.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. I didn't even consider that, but when this season started, long time ago,
Oh
Blue
my.
originally signed up as a 10 jungle, 10 mid, which I believe Mikuro also signed up as. Labur stated that he wanted to play mid instead, like he would have much preferred that, and that's how this kind of worked out best for this team. But before the season, I actually was thinking that we would see these two flex back and forth a lot, even though they ended up not doing it. But that is definitely a sign that they know something has to change going into this game 3 here. And more importantly, they picked 2 champions that both of those players can play in their respective roles, throwing off everyone.
How do you
Yeah.
think that Mikuro is gonna play up against a diamond mid player?
Well, it's Kassadin. I mean, there's not that much he has to worry about in the laning phase. So Mikuro, while obviously Kassadin's going to scale better with that free farm, Mikuro can at least try rolling that die one more time. And we all know that 20, you roll it 20 times, you get it 20 once, right?
I really thought Mikuro was going to be a mid laner going into the season, and I really felt like this season was like one of the worst seasons for Mikuro to be a mid laner because I feel like the mid lane talent has just gone so far above what I believe that his skills are capable of rolling that die for.
Yeah.
I will agree, but Morgana is a very safe mid to play. If you do not, like, if you don't try to play aggressive on Morgana and you just decide, I'm just going to go and farm, Morgana is so insanely safe.
He is against Dubdrum on Shyvana, which is not a very good ganker for at all or mid lane. So I guess he does have that going for him. But it is just, I don't know. I do not think I would have taken Lure out of mid with how well he's played this season.
Well, it hasn't worked for him.
I guess.
I don't blame them for feeling the pressure that they have to change something. So, guys, I'll ask right now. We've been doing this game by game. Is this set going to be a 3-0?
I think it's going to be a 3-0.
I also think it's going to be a 3-0. Those losses were so, like, just demoralizing losses. Like, I don't even know how you pick correctly or, like, even think through everything that just happened.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. You saw it at the end of last game. Forces of Nature just looked lost with no direction. I don't see how they can mentally handle playing another game of League of Legends at this point. And I think this is going to be a massive stomp for Sharkbait HooHa.
I don't know. If it wasn't for the fact that Sharkbait had been has been playing so messily, I would think it'd be a very clean, like just a stomp. But Sharkbait, I mean, even that last game, Force of Nature made a lot of really silly mistakes, but so did Sharkbait, and so I'm just very conflicted. I think Sharkbait will definitely win the game, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near clean.
I think that the seconds, if Sharkbait get an early kill, or if they take the first kill of this game, I think it's just going to be too much in everyone at Force of Nature's heads.
That's fair. I could definitely see that happening. I mean, there's a lot of tilt already happening. We saw a lot of tilt last game. A lot of tilt. And, I mean, would not be surprised to see some more tilt coming.
Tiltatonics, I believe, is how it was put in Twitch chat.
Alright, so we are into the game, folks. Game 3. 3 hours real time in. I am so scared of the potential of Force of Nature taking this set to 5 games.
You know, I really want to see it go to at least, like, 4. But
I
I'm
don't
also
know
just,
if
I'm
either
just
of these
scared.
teams actually want to play 5 games. You
If
are
the
pushing,
baddie
like...
was scripted, which it is, it'll go to 5 games. We see 2 early invades coming out from both these teams. However, Sharkbait's gonna spot Force of Nature on that ward.
Seconds until minions spawn.
And a little bit of knowledge gained there by Sharkbait HooHa, who are going to see the invade, but both teams can just go back into their own jungles. Not too surprising. That's a baddie league level 1 we're watching right now.
Classics.
Minions have spawned.
So we're gonna be starting nothing too crazy here. Actually, no, I'm just in. Oh, good ward from him. So, and I'm just in is actually enough to force the 2 members of Sharkbait out. They're going to be starting this jungle very late. That's a 2:05 start. Master Splinter is already calling GG somewhere after that. But as usual, just going into our standard lanes here. 30 actually gonna take a nice little chunk of damage. He's getting stunned, and decent level 1 trade win by Ibs and Destiny, who I just want to give credit to in case I don't think to bring this up again later. These guys have played their laning phases fairly well tonight. I've been very impressed by them for all the things that have been wrong with their fighting in these first 2 games. They can feel good about how they've landed. So, for you two, we'll start with you, Chris. Is there any lane matchup you think is most volatile in this matchup? Like the one lane that you think really could have the highest chance of deciding this game?
Top lane, 100%.
Yeah.
That Renekton pick is just so strong against Wukong. Like, that dumpsters that lane, and there is almost nothing Wukong can do about it.
Alright, so we've got some pretty aggressive trades going out here in both bot lane and top lane. And Tree and 30 gonna win a real nice trade in this lane. Although Tree overcommits a little and a nice boomerang blade mostly equalizes that out. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, Mikuro fallen fairly behind on these first few waves. That's kind of a surprise, is Morgana versus Kassadin. Must be pretty rusty with those auto attack last hits since he's been playing so much jungle. And
Yeah, that's already developing into a very large discrepancy.
And that is a worrying trend. But meanwhile, we see 30 and Blabur showing up in this mid lane. They are going to force a flash out of Vivaret that we don't see on screen. But a very good start from Vivaret. Actually, something I want to get your opinion on, Tiff. How do you feel about the Ignite on Vivaret instead of going for Teleport?
I think you can get away with it in this matchup. Normally it's very important on Kassadin because it equalizes your lane matchup so much. You get bullied out of lane, you know, you just, oh no, I go teleport by and come back, I didn't lose anything. But in this matchup, it actually does give him a bit of kill pressure. I'd still prefer the TP. I think the TP is better overall on Kassadin, but especially just like how much like engage potentially he has for picks. You know, teleport top, get a kill, teleport bot, get a kill and assist. But we'll see how it works out for them. And also, I mean, the TPs in this series overall haven't been phenomenal, so.
That's true. Which is why I think having a third one might have been the deciding factor. Ooh, a nice long-range binding there on the Vivaret. But I'm just going to have to watch out. He is definitely very diveable, as a Dubdrum is showing up in this top lane, and a great spell shield on Hibs. And we're seeing action everywhere. Madam's just going to start the tower dive here, and then he's going to flash out immediately. First blood to OG Little Saints. And that is rough. That's a lot of EXP I'm just is about to lose in this top lane, too. And he was already falling somewhat behind. He was not playing Renekton well in that top lane.
That is just so surprising. Every time I see that in solo queue, Renekton is so far ahead early on. And like even after 6, like did not ward, did not I didn't.
And the thing is, when that double jungle start happens, and actually this could be a fairly big fight. Tree has to jump defensively, and that ends that fight. But when that double jungle start happens, the top laner that doesn't, or that starts in top lane, Dan, there's a lot of things he can do. So he should have a nice laning phase lead. But he just didn't seem to play it out right. And this is something I could have seen either of these top laners do, is going into this match, looking at the way the draft has gone and going, hey, it's been a while, but I think I could pull Renekton out here, it would be really good. And then just not being that great at the champion, and it costing them big time.
Yeah, but Wukong did not get the... Oh god, that's actually a really early dragon.
That's a very early dragon.
And Babur's going to have to flash out as his Vault Breaker was on cooldown from taking the dragon, but regardless, objective secured, but already over a 1k gold lead for Shark Baits.
He's taking a lot of damage from the Stone Bros, though, and he's going to get executed.
Oh my.
That's embarrassing.
Remember when I said if anything bad happened early in this game, Forces of Nature would absolutely tilt? A kill and an execution, they are definitely on tilt right now. And that gold lead slowly getting bigger by bigger as Babur's off the map and not taking camps right now. And this top lane, I'm just in a decent position here. The creeps are slightly coming at him, and he still has an ultimate and a full rage bar, so he can heal a lot if he chooses to Q. And,
yeah, Madam Stripe used that ultimate, and he didn't even feel the, or Justin didn't feel the need to pop his ultimate back on him.
But nice freeze, and actually before showing up in this bot lane, we're gonna have a fight breaking out momentarily, and a
beautiful
nice
spell
shield
from
by Iroh Hibs. But Mikuro flashing him with the ult, he is getting a very nice ult off. Dubdrum being collapsed on. Mikuro kills the Hibs. Exfantry with the explosion kills the Dubdrum, and this is going to be a kill lead, although still a gold deficit for Forces of Nature.
That is exactly what Forces of Nature needed at this point, though. That kill helps recover some of the deficit that Mikuro has developed in the mid lane, just through CS. And also that kill gets Tree going, and Tree is a very large portion of their damage in this game. Assuming that Dan does build Renekton how you should be, and picks up some tank stats.
Yeah, hopefully Dan's gonna go for a Tiamat or maybe the full Hydra into tank.
Yeah, that's the ideal situation here.
But
part of the reason I love Trian Tristana so much is like his positioning is already awesome, and just him with an extra jump is amazing to watch every time you get to see it.
I'm just Dan forced out of top lane here, but he was just trying to get a little extra gold. He's presumably gonna use his teleport. He actually might be able to just walk up to this top lane. Madam Strip is not pushing, so Dan should not waste his teleport. He is not. So he looks like he's going Tiamat and some tank stats here. Tiamat's finished off, and that is a huge, huge part of Renekton. I cannot, like, as a Renekton lover, state this enough. How much his damage goes up when he gets that Tiamat. Because you can use it to animation and get a huge trade combo off. Assuming Dan knows how to play Renekton. This should be a turning point in top lane.
Dan, so far, if you went back and watched his Wukong games with the Hydra, he was really amazing with his Tiamat. Every time he
pops the EDG and doesn't commit to the fight. My friend, if you're going to pop a Chinese team's icon, you have to commit to the fight.
Dan's gonna go in, find Strip as well.
Yeah, but he can just probably turn and fight. And he's going to choose not to turn and fight this. I don't know why.
It's 'cause he just killed the pink ward. He spent a lot of autos on killing that pink.
I guess. But I'm just starting to bully in this lane a bit, so we'll see if he can turn that into anything that matters. And for the second game in a row, something I didn't get to talk about last game that I noticed and wanted to, Tree goes for a very early blue elixir, or blue trinket, but it doesn't matter because Tree's going for a very early aggression onto Irohit, but Dum is here and he's going to capitalize. Madam Strip also teleporting in, but a great Lantern from 30. That is two support players at work. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, the Soul Shackles onto Vivaret hits him under his tower. The flash is not enough to break the CC, but it is enough to save his life. And Forces of Nature still holding on.
Hero starts to catch up that CS gap. Hero's now only down 8 CS, assuming this whole wave goes down. Since Cassidy doesn't have teleport, it is.
Yeah, a lot of that is also, I mean, just Cassidy is just, he slowed down his farm. Cassidy had like, he's got an 18 CS in the last 4 minutes almost. That's not where you want to be at.
Now some nice damage goes on to this bot lane tower, but Tree presumably forced back here. He's got some gold to make a decent purchase.
Yeah, he wants to buy before this dragon comes up. Dragon's up in 50 seconds, so...
But a good counter push coming out of Sharkbait here. They take the second tower of the... Sorry, the first tower of the match.
Second major objective.
And that should lead into a pretty nice fight for this dragon in 20 seconds. Although Tree pretty late with the recall. Forces of Nature should be fine to deal a little dancing to buy time, though. And for what it is worth, both junglers are actually sitting on a lot of gold right now, so they both might be calling to try and delay this dragon. Mikro 1600, Dubdrum 1900.
Mikro would be a huge buy for him because he can finish off his Warrior Trailblazer. Which right now he's only sitting on a longsword for offensive stats.
Yeah, we will see that Forces of Nature does have the TP advantage here. That binding barely missed Mikro. Not Mikro, Dubdrum. My apologies.
Yeah, Hibbs with a nice dodge on the flay, and then Spell Shield. And Dan is taking Scone. I don't know what is going on entirely. But it looks like it's not Dragon. Mikro getting lanterned in. He's going very aggressive. The
Gotta get that scuttle.
finding gonna barely miss. but we might see the Tristana going for a bit of a siege here in the mid lane if they want to. There's very, very little wave clear on the side of Sharkbait. Essentially only the Sivir. They would be very good at poking these towers down one wave at a time. But Tree's got to watch out. He is very in danger here. And Tree gets annihilated. A huge team fight win for Sharkbait HooHa, who are now doing what they can to kill Mikaro, and they are going to succeed. And now 30, I don't know what he's doing. Walks in and has the flash, but Vivret just casted his right over the wall. And then the death set is nowhere near landing. But at least Force of Nature will be able to trade this for top lane.
Mikro will also be able to get a huge push out in mid as well. They're going to have to go defend both lanes.
Yeah, so ultimately Dragon's equalized, Tower's equalized, kills only one apart. 1,300 gold.
They could have picked up another kill, though. Blab could have ulted Madam Strip when he was under tower there. He had the mana and everything.
This series wouldn't be right without a few misplays in the team fight, though, right?
That's true. That's true. Got me there.
So looking at these items, I'm just Dan, clearly not the Croc expert that I am, so let me tell you some more about Renekton, folks. Titanic Hydra and Ravenous Hydra do not do the same thing when you activate them, actually. You cannot cancel the animation on Renekton's W with Titanic Hydra like you can with Ravenous or Tiamat.
Really?
Yes, I learned that during Worlds this weekend. So Titanic Hydra is actually somewhat ineffective for Renekton. The more you know.
Yeah, no, that's actually huge then. A big part of the reason why the Ravenous Hydra is so big is because you're able to cancel your W animation.
But looking across the board at the rest of these items, we got Madam Strip going for the normal Black Cleaver. Both middle laners went for the Rod of Ages builds. 80 carries still working on their first item. So nothing too major's happened this early. And oh, a nice max range hook onto Viveret. That might not have happened in game. That might have been a spectator blog. It actually kind of looked like it. For those of you that don't know, the spectator client doesn't actually record the game. It just records inputs. So that very slight bit of lag that happens, you can sometimes see things like that long range hook that on a server that's refreshing literally everything that happens wouldn't have happened. Or maybe Thresh's hook can just do that. But it doesn't really matter because Madam Strip being flayed, he's got to ult defensively, but there's a nice hook. I'm just Dan, very slow to follow up on this though. He just doesn't look like he was paying attention, but gets the late kill anyways. And the Croc Snowball is about to begin. And I'm just Dan taking a lot of tower damage for no reason here. He finally pops his ult. And now he walks in and takes another 2 tower shots. This is some uninspired.
Oh my goodness.
God. This is not happy crocking right now. But a nice tower take, and now an assault battery on the field as he's taking a lot of damage. Tree with the fast follow-up. He is slowly being taken down, but a nice Glacial Fissure going to slow the inevitable before Mikaro snipes the kill away.
Hibbs on that bot tower
Yeah,
though,
Hibbs.
but he's gonna get the TP out of Dan.
Good TP from Dan. There's something I haven't said in a long time. And now
We're seeing
gonna
some
see
very
how-
effective pushes though from Forces of Nature here. They're using the power of this Tristana very, very well. If there's something to notice that there's been a lot less of an aggressive game. There's not nearly as many kills at this point in the game as there were in the others.
Yeah, this, maybe it wasn't the position switch that changed things up for Forces of Nature. It was just the 80 KB pick switch. And they're utilizing Tristana very well so far.
Dan going full split push mode. Trying to pick up that Sunfire Cape right now. I'm actually looking on pro builds, and I don't see any Renekton's with either Sunfire Cape or Titanic Hydra.
That's interesting. The
Yeah.
Sunfire was very normal on him back in the day, but in the meantime, 30 actually being engaged on. He has no friends nearby and a lot of enemies on top of him. This is just a good old-fashioned cash and a kill. Going on to Viveret, probably the worst place for Forces of Nature to see that kill go.
Yeah. So to answer your question on the Sunfire, your comment on the Sunfire actually. So the thing with Sunfire is that while it used to be a premier item now the big use of it is that it is a straight tank item that also offers wave clear. So there are other armor and tank options that are better than it, but they don't offer wave clear. So the people that are getting that are people like Shen, who just want
Yeah.
the straight tank stats and additional wave clear because their cave clear and their kit is not very good.
Yeah, I see a lot
Renekton,
of
who's
like
someone who's gonna have a Hydra, is gonna have a ton of wave clear.
black cleavers and dead man's plates are way
Yeah,
more common.
I think it has
Yep.
more to do with those items just being very strong than anything wrong with Sunfire. Personally.
No, there's nothing wrong with Sunfire, except for the fact that you normally are trying to pick it up on a champion who wants additional wave clear and straight tank stats at the time.
Wave clear is kind of like move speed, though. You can't really have too much of it.
No, that's true, but I mean, it never hurts to have
And
more
I
wave
think
clear.
if they're going to be using Dan to split
Oh.
push a lot, it's still a nice
The push
buy,
bait.
but this fight is happening. Before, this fight is not happening, folks. I've lied to you. You trusted me and I failed you. I'm so sorry, but here's a nice Glacial Fissure out of Failed Destiny. And Vivra going very deep, but I don't know why, because he's getting hooked, and he's getting chunked out. Now Micro with a nice two-man ulti, he's going to not lock up a few friends here. But on the backside of this fight, Three getting off great DPS. This is a slaughter in favor of Forces of Nature right now. 0 for 3.
Hibbs flashed into that fight to try and get a kill. Oh my goodness. Well, this is exactly what Forces of Nature wants to see here now. They have a nice gold lead, they have a nice tower lead. They have head-on kills too. I imagine they're probably feeling pretty good about themselves right now, actually. They're playing better, way better than they
They've
did
completely
either of
changed the
other
way they're
games.
playing this game. They're no longer playing the skirmisher Chinese bullshit. They are playing the cool, calculated game of rotations like Saint Monte Cristo taught 30 in the jungle all those years ago. And for 2 games, he lost his way. But he's finally back. And Mikuro's going to pick up his Zanya's Hourglass on that back. One of the biggest item purchases you're going to see in this game.
I love that he has Zanya's Hourglass and still have yet to pick up level 1 boots. That is how important this item is to him.
You don't need the move speed from boots when you're just flashing into the enemy team every fight.
I
And you're only fighting
wholeheartedly
every
agree.
5 minutes. We'll see how they play around it, though. Obviously, the longer you go with those boots, the tougher it gets.
Yeah, he's going to get those soon, especially just because they're also actually once you get an upgraded source shoot, that's a fairly cheap source of flat magic pen.
Yeah,
Get a
he
little bit of extra
definitely
damage
needs
as
a little
well.
damage into his build right now. So 2.5k gold lead for Forces of Nature right now. Nothing too substantial, but a nice start. So Dan is kind of deep here, but his team's pushing the wave to create pressure so he can't be collapsed on. And we might see a re-siege going down in this mid lane. Once again, just
That's going to be
Forces
a
of
lot of
Nature
damage coming down to that tower.
are doing such a good job of abusing this lack of wave clear. The only option is for a hard engage, and that Glacial Fissure only hits Micro, and there is 0 follow-up. And now Iveret being stunned on the flank of this fight, he takes a nice damage. Here comes Beyond the Hunt. 30, the only person too low. And Dubdrub gets blown up immediately. Nice auto attack from Tree. I'm just Dan playing the peel game. Tree forced down the fight, but that shouldn't matter. A good hook on the failed Desi. But here comes Viveret on the flank, and everyone on Force of Nature is low. Dan ended up going very deep as this fight went on, but a 1 for 3 so far for FOM, who should be able to collapse onto this mid lane tower fairly easily. And there's a 4th kill for Forces. And I'm just Dan going for the kill, but not going to get it onto Viveret. But a 3-kill advantage and a tower taken.
They're going to go ahead and march onto the inhib tower here. This is a sub 25-minute inhib tower. If this actually goes down.
This is a fast game right here, boys. We haven't seen this for 3 hours.
And Vivaret coming in. He is a very dangerous man right now, but Babur in a great turn there.
That turn was actually huge. It's
Teleport
quite
coming in
possible
though from Wukong.
Oh, this should be free kills for Madam Strip.
Oh,
He's stealthing in.
Free kills
He's
or
running
3
in.
kills?
He gets one. No, you two stay
just
up.
one.
Oh, just one.
oh, that was a dangerous game by Vlad there. All it took was a Cyclone or a dash to knock him out of that Fresh
Oh
Lantern to
my.
safety.
I need to check something real fast. I'm just based with 3,800 gold. He finished off the Sunfire and picked up a whole Dead Man's Blade. They just won that fight with almost 4k gold on their top
Yeah,
laner.
Shark
this
Bait
is-
though is going for the Baron, and they're gonna get it before anyone gets there.
Very desperate Baron. This is going to be close. Forces of Nature might be able to take the fight after the Baron goes down, but there hasn't been a lot of damage done by this Baron. This could be a very big fight. I'm just Dan, the first one of the fight. On the Hunt goes down. I'm just Dan, cannot find the Lantern, and Baron successfully snuck by the Shark Bait.
Except I think you're a couple seconds behind the stream. And,
I'm sorry, I don't think I jumped alive enough times.
Yep.
I am now live.
There you go.
But that is such a huge play for Sharkbait, who just want to, as much as I hate to say it,
Has been destroyed.
stall this game out. And before another fight breaks out, this is such a vintage Sharkbait comp from what they were running in the first half of the season. And Dubdrum already starting to get fairly strong as a split push threat. And he is utilizing it very well.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And it looks like Labur, nope, not gonna force the fight.
I'm surprised to not see him force the fight there. But I guess they're kind of worried. Baron, they don't know exactly where everyone is.
Yeah,
Playing
they're
a
playing
little
around with
safe.
Can't say I blame them. I'm sure if I was looking at their team's vision, I would have been making the same call there.
Oh, I'm sure. So that's what I kind of figure.
But in the meantime, we've got 32 seconds until Dragon number 4 spawns. It would be a third for Forces of Nature, or a second for Sharkbaits.
Justin does not have teleport up. So I assume he will continue split pushing and they will give up this dragon.
Well, Wukong is coming to meet him, and he also does not have teleport up, so this could just be a true 4v4 and 1v1 happening simultaneously.
This is what we've all dreamed of.
And no, actually, Imjustan is coming for a very slow... Actually, he's going towards that mid lane where the inhibitor's open. This could create some very interesting pressure. This should be a free dragon for Forces of Nature. Or, no, Imjustan's actually playing
They're
on
gonna
this
fight.
fight. They are going very hard. Vivaret is on a very awkward flank in this fight, but Failed Destiny is the only one being focused so far. He flashes enough. Vivaret and Dubdrum have gotten onto the flank, but Tree being protected well so far. Tree with some great positioning as this fight gets chaotic. A first kill for him. And now Tree turning to get towards his team, but he walks into the knockup, and actually Sharkbait are starting to turn this. Tree has to flash out a 2 for 2 so far, but Imjustan is dealing a lot of damage. He picks up a double kill. The only person left is Madam Strip, and he's not going to last for long. He picks up a kill before he
Go
gets
get
up
the
with that
inhibitor, boys!
3, 4, 5.
I don't know if you saw that, but Sivir flashed over the back wall to flank the back of Forces of Nature and got decimated.
I did
That
not
flash,
catch that.
I have no idea what was going through his head when he made that flash.
Inhibitor has been destroyed.
I did not
That's an
catch
inhib.
that, but that explains how that fight got so close. But a major inhibitor, it's going to be really fun to see how many times that can go down this game.
That is number one. That is number one going down.
Yeah.
Just Dan's teleports back up. He would be able to base and get back here with full health if he wanted to.
I think he's more worried about having the map pressure until the rest of his team can come. He is a tanky gator.
And he picked up a lot of kills in that fight. Sitting on 2.3k gold right now.
He is a
Yeah,
very, very big alligator.
He should really be looking to spend, but at this point, that is not going to happen. And Sharkbait are starting the force here. This could be a fight. Vivorette, watch for him on the flank. Mikaro flashing in. He's putting out a big full damage, and Vivorette gets hooked, but there's no damage going on him. Tree gets forced out and dies without dealing anything. And Sharkbait has secured this dragon. This is going very, very badly for Forces of Nature. They've had 3 players down, and that is not the end of it. Labour slowed. 30 has to do what he can to run. But this could be a big turnaround for Sharkbait, who almost evened the gold out after that fight.
Man, this game is a roller coaster, just like the others. Right as we thought that we weren't going to be like having to worry about it, and then all of a sudden, bam, roller coaster.
Who's actually bad anyway? The gold leagues don't matter.
But after
Crypt is
all
made
of
up.
this happens, gold is dead even again. And that fight, that was just Tree got blown up. Vivorette's flank worked exactly how it needed to, and no one turned onto him when he came in fast enough. And this is just another situation where I feel like I'm Just Dan needs to communicate. When you're sitting on 2,400 gold, even though that's not what made the difference in that fight, you have to communicate that your teleport is up and you would like to spend before the fight. Because that much gold is going to have a huge impact on any team fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he would have been able to spend, get his Spectral's Cowl and that Ruby Crystal that he's sitting on now, been huge.
But it looks like Force of Nature going back to the split push. Both teleports are currently up.
Forces of Nature don't need to fight them. They can out-rotate them.
Yep, they've been doing it all game, and I like this decision, because as soon as they get any kind of equal situation in this mid lane, they just go up there for one wave. But meanwhile, Dubdrum's getting hooked. We'll see Dan, the first one to teleport, but Dubdrum, Vivorette is the first one to die. A second kill for Force of Nature. They are winning this fight very, very hard. A good old amount of mana strip is not going to be enough to turn this fight. Tree going to go down late in this fight, and somehow Dubdrum walks out, but that is not enough to change this fight. And somehow a 2 for 3 currently, but a nice hook out of 30 caliber. And now I'm Just Dan flashing in to secure this kill.
Those Winions are on the base right now.
Yeah, and they're all focused on the same tower, which is really big. A lot of damage coming out. They're probably gonna clean up that tower. Oh,
No.
the
Shibata
tower
was-
barely make it.
But Dubdrum saves the day.
131 health.
But they'll settle for 2 extra kills worth of gold and the bot lane tower. And a playbook open again. Although Vivorette getting a nice chase on I'm Just Dan. This could be a big kill that he will almost for sure be able to get. Well, there is a
No, I don't
level
think so.
advantage here. I'm Just Dan finally going to turn. He gets a big heal off of that Q. And wow. Folks, that is a 3-level advantage for you.
That's the problem with Kassadin. Even when like the opposing champion is low, if they still have like a more dash than you, you like come in, you have to put yourself in a melee to do your full burst, and then they can just turn on you like that. And so it's really awkward if the enemy AD carry or enemy top laner is way bigger than you, like in that situation where you're like, yeah, I'm chasing them down, and they turn and just slap your shit.
Red team's inhibitor is respawning soon.
So all of this, we see FoN back up to about an 1,800 gold lead, and Sharkbait's mid inhibitor respawning. Baron Nashor is alive. So we've only got 40 minutes to go, boys.
If Sharkbait can somehow find a way to close that 4 tower gap, there's a lot of gold waiting for them. There should be some easy towers that they could probably pick up if they get the right picks. And
Yeah, but they have to get
that
the
will
right
close-
picks, which Forces have not been giving them at all. Forces have just been in the right place at the right time so often this game. And that's how you only have 2 towers down at 33 minutes. They've done it very well. So on the hunt coming out, Renekton very split and he has no teleport. This could be very bad for Forces of Nature. A nice Glacial Fissure going to slow this fight up. Mikro's going to sacrifice himself to slow down this fight. Meanwhile, Madam's coming in on the flank. This is very big. I'm Just Dan is going to be so late to this fight. I don't know why he's even coming in at this point. But, oh my god, this is 4 kills for nothing and a Baron Nashor for Sharkbait. And that was just a great decisive play to engage out of. And Dan's going to do what he can, but he's not going to be able to take this tower. He might have just compromised himself. Although it looks like there aren't any home guards aren't quite fast enough here. But Force of Nature, as soon as they spawn, they're going to be very pressured in all 3 lanes. Although Dubdrum's going to not commit to his split push. He wants to spend his gold, I guess. But this is going to at least be a free mid tower.
Sharkbait right now is up 2k despite being down 4 towers. That lead's gonna go quickly if they can find themselves some of these towers with that Baron buff.
Yeah, and the next dragon's up. This is 3rd dragon for either team.
Yeah, I think they're going to opt for the dragon here. I don't think Forces of Nature are in position to contest this. They're just a little too stuttered by from it. Which is nice. The move speed, one of the better ones. And they got to watch out. On the Hunt is available. But no trigger's going to be pulled by Sharkbait here. They're going to just settle for the 2.5k gold lead. And they are going to begin a good old Baron siege. And with Tree currently in the top lane, they should be able to get some good damage on this tower, although they're not doing anything to aggress on this tower.
This is the part where their lack of wave curve becomes an actual very real problem.
Baron is still on Sharkbait for another minute and a half.
Yeah, so we'll see if they play aggressive on this tower. They seem very scared to siege here. And I'm actually starting to think they might not get anything out of this Baron. Or anything more out of this Baron, I should say. But they were at chunks Vicaro there. That could be big. And Dubdrum and I'm Just Dan are fighting on the other side of the map. Looks like Dan wants to set up a split push. And the confusion that creates is actually enough to create some big pressure in this mid lane. But Hibbs is never in position to get hits on this tower. Even when right there, he has the opportunity to. And the tower dive finally bringing up Vicaro dies. Vicaro does not get an ultimate off. This is very bad for Forces of Nature, who are now being doped 2 towers deep, as Hibbs is taking towers on the back end of this. And despite having no AD carry in this fight, Sharkbait are continuing to win. And now Stripe going very deep. Gets out of the tower aggro. Him and Vibrette and Dubdrum and Destiny and Hibbs. They're gonna take this inhibitor tower. And I have to assume the inhibitor as well, as 0 for 3 in favor of Sharkbait amidst all the confusion. And they've got 2 Baron cannon creeps. They might try to take even more here. Dubdrum gets a second inhibitor tower. This is a second inhibitor.
Gotta try to end the game here. They're moving forward.
They've got 2 seconds on Extra Street, 30 on Dan. And the Baron did just wear off. I don't think they can end. And they don't seem to think so either.
Well, unless there was a giant throw by Sharkbait here, I don't see there's any way that they cannot win this game in under 60 minutes.
Yeah. It would take some baddie league level throws for this game to go past 60. But if there was a series for that to happen, it'd be this one.
Right here. Want baddie. We want a 60-minute game, don't we?
No. We want a game 4.
Uh-oh.
Not a 60-minute game, though. We want to see Force of Nature's reverse sweep, reverse the turnaround 5 for 0 twice in a row, end the game. Go into game 4, see what happens. Something tells me that doesn't happen, though.
I don't think so.
I
It is
imagine
a
this game
very
probably
low
ends in a push
probability.
or 2. If I had to guess.
There's no reason for Sharkbait not to just use 5 bot, slowly push in while the supers are pushing the other 2 lanes. It's so easy to close out with 2 inhibitors down. You have to be game 1 or game 2 bad for that not to happen. But I can't rule anything out. I am a believer right now in anything happening. But currently the thing happening is a nice easy tower tank, a hook that's not going to do much, and a lot of super pressure slowly coming in to Force of Nature's base. And they are finally starting. This is the final fight, and it is not being picked. And I don't think Forces of Nature have a chance to wait this out. They need to just force something harder than ever, because those supers are on their Nexus from one wave, about to be from another wave, and sitting here waiting this out and hoping for a mistake is going to just lose them this game. Mikuro has a flash available. So does 30 as far as the engage goes. But now Dubdrum actually setting up a split push, and Tree gets some very good damage on the Failed Destiny here. And it looks like Dubtrum's going to just man up and try to take things into his own hands, pushing these supers in. And top lane is now starting to crash into Force of Nature's base. Dubdrum can effectively push both of these waves. And Force of Nature just looked lost. Their chance to force something was over.
Yeah,
The
that's
creeps
a
are creating
big
too much
wave.
pressure now.
Double supers is a lot of damage.
By the way, I just want to say, I'm just Dan, just bought Renekton, Frozen Heart. Renekton does not use mana at the ends. And Mikuro, Flash Soul Shields one person and Spell Shield. This game's over. Mikuro does absolutely nothing in this fight. Mikuro dies.
That is probably
easy
the
fight.
game, boys.
Xmas Tree is down. I'm just Dan is on the fountain. This is it. Like we said, you can't come back from those first two games. And
Yep.
Sharkbait HooHa fulfill their destiny and take this series 3-0. And that just...
Even though that this game was a 3-0 series, I do not see a way that these guys will be able to handle winning the finals unless they show great improvement over the next 2 weeks.
I just...
That was so
Alright, guys.
sloppy.
So, SBL fans, I
Holy
know you
shit.
want to hear an interview right now. I know you're thinking a lot of guys on Sharkbait would talk some mad shit. But this series was so awful that no one deserves an interview. We'll see you next week for Thomas the Tank Engine versus Sharkbait HooHa in the Wayne Batty League Season 6 semifinal. Thank you. Good night.